Today is August 2nd. We are recapping the trade deadline and the state of the Yankees with the manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone. Let's do it. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, episode number 939. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD in the corner, brought to you by SeatGeek. And the trade deadline came and went, and boy, did it come and go like a quick breeze. Jake, how are you?
James, Davis, how's everyone doing? Recovering as Yankee fans. I'm okay. I don't know. I think someone had a tweet that got to me last night that it was, I'm Joe's McFly on the inside, the screaming, and this is crazy, this is insanity, what are we doing, how can we think this is okay, this is madness. But on the outside, I was Kyle Higashioka. I was just kind of like frozen. I was like broken to the world. I'll do this quick and I'll send it back, man. I left my normal train that I take home, wasn't running. So I hopped on another train that got me like a little closer, and then I just walked around the city for like 10 minutes. A couple of people said hi, and they were like, "What's up with the Yanks, dude?" I was like, "I don't know, man." And then I got another trade, and I was just walking around like an NPC, like not real character, because it kind of broke me. So how are you?
I'm all right. I mean, it just, you just know the team so well. Like I did Cashman's press conference for him after the deadline. I said this is what he's going to say, and word for word, that's like basically what he said. That we believe in what we got. The prices were ridiculous. We're not going to get rid of our talent for that. This is what we got to do to win. Like, it's like, what did Cashman say? He said, obviously we're all in.
Yeah.
No. Most zero obvious that I've ever seen.
Doesn't feel obvious to us.
Obviously, no.
So,
But that's how delusional I think they are. They think they're all in. Anyway, the clip for people, we did tweet out two types of fans, and like they mashed up the Joes and Higgy. Just for anyone that hasn't heard those yet,
I swear doing nothing is crazy. I am losing my mind right now.
I don't really have a ton of emotions, so this would be my mood, even if we got like Ohtani.
I swear.
And I hope people know that's not a shot at Higgy at all. He's literally
That's who he is.
He's one of the most in tap with his emotions people that I've ever seen, but he just doesn't have them.
Higgy knows. Know thyself. Higgy knows himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Joe's on the in. I mean, I'm Joe's. I just saw it coming for so long ago.
Right. And that's
that I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
My Tommy John statement of the episode, because Tommy John is a statement in and of itself. Men's underwear. I'm wearing them right now. I'll pop up at the end.
You ever call them underoos?
I do call them underoos. You know that. It's kind of like a combination of kangaroos, dunkaroos, and underwear. Tommy John, they have dozens of comfort innovations, breathable, lightweight. Can I tell you something that's different with them? They've got a little pouch there for your ham and biscuits.
You whip it out?
Excuse me?
So you can whip it out when you pee?
Or you gonna whip
You don't got to pull the boxers down to pee. You just go right through the pouch.
Tommy Johns are my go-to. They're my numero uno. I'm trying to have them sweep over the whole company. I'm having to try and sweep over all of us, our whole John Boy Media community, because you will get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. 20% off. TommyJohn.com/Yanks. I'm going to be honest with you. These are nice underwear. They were my one pair, my go-to every week. I just loaded up. It's a Tommy John life for me. You should too. Go get yourself some Tommy John underwear.
Programming update. We're pushing Sharp Stats till tomorrow's episode. We'll be recapping this Rays series tomorrow morning at around 9:30 in the morning. And since we don't want to do the full recap, we're going to do, Katie did send in Sharp Stats, pushing that so this can be pretty much just kind of deadline and the Boone conversation episode. And we have some questions planned for Boone. It is very tough because he's not Cashman. He's not the front office. And I would hope he is Joe's inside. That's what I would like.
Right.
Hope. Like, because if Boone thinks they're a winner, right? Which I think he does. I think he thinks they're 2 games out and they can go and add pieces. I don't think he's lying when in his confidence. Then you add.
Any team would want to add.
Yeah. Any manager wants to get better. Right. Unless they're there for the long haul and they know, like, hey, you know, if Brandon Hyde being part of this Orioles winning team is awesome because usually they kick those managers out and they're like, all right, now that we're winning, we're going to go get this guy. Like the Rangers with Woodward and Padres with Tingler and all these upstart managers. But yeah, managers want to get better. So I would hope Boone is like Joe's on the inside, but then he can't really
He's
do that on the
paid
outside.
to not do that on the outside. So.
Yeah, and
it's going to be an interesting line of questioning and conversations with him to see how he talks about this.
Yeah, and
nonsense.
I think the only thing that I really want out there with the people, just kind of, you know, the emotions of the trade deadline. Last we checked in with you was, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night? When did Sunday night?
It was
the night.
Sunday Night Baseball.
Right. And they didn't play Judge, and that might come up. I don't know. But for me, you know, I'd been on kind of the soft buy plan. The Padres ended up doing it at this year's deadline. They brought in G-Man Choi, Garrett Cooper, Rich Hill, Barlow from the Royals. Like, they added a lot of small pieces to try to change up their chemicals a little bit to try to get the good juice going because they're already deeply rooted and invested in what they've been in. As I approached the night before the deadline, I said the one thing you couldn't do. If you still wanted to soft buy and tell yourselves, you know, you've got $300 million invested in this team, so let's tweak some clear weaknesses. The lineup. What has been the weakness? If this was a normal Yankees lineup, I mean, it's probably a good team. Like, a lot of the pitching numbers are okay at worst. Some of them are still good. They couldn't sit on their hands. I was so fine if they traded away Bader and Sevy, and because the thing I kept running into was, you know, if the Yankees, if they were going to trade away the 2 guys that were keeping them afloat, like for a couple weeks there was a Glaber camp that was like, you can't trade Glaber. He's the only guy hitting. Well,
it's protecting Judge.
That's how you have value. And by the way, he's gone on like a 1 for 18. Bader hasn't hit for a month. Like, so I just needed different baseball players to play baseball, whether they're veterans or kids. You needed different baseball players because it's the worst Yankees lineup all time. And they did not. They added a middle reliever.
That's what I was saying 2 weeks ago. Is I don't care what the return is, just change it up. Tell me you're gonna like go into next year. They're not. The quotes are, and what I projected are, we believe that this is just underperformance from a roster that should perform.
Right.
And this year is a fluke, and we're gonna run it back.
And some of it doesn't make sense, man. Like, Billy McKinney was a shot of life, but like, what does that mean for future Yankee teams or even this year? Like, it's
like we would have
put him on the Phillies.
We would have heavily criticized the move if they, you know, gave up some asset, whatever it is, for a rental like Candelario or something. But at least I would understand. All right, they're going for it this year. I understand their thought process on that. Would have disagreed with it, but this is not even that.
Cashman had a crazy quote about Spencer Howard. Spencer Howard they got at the deadline because
he got DFA'd by Texas.
Because Texas DFA'd him because they picked up people. So Cashman said we saw Spencer get DFA'd like on the waiver wire. So we were very aggressive there, knowing to add. Oh, very aggressive. Very aggressive.
with relief pitching.
Player you could have.
So we added him and sent him to Scranton, and we were very aggressive. Like that was it. I was like, what, dude?
That was real.
What? Don't play that move off like aggressive.
Yeah.
Like that's like, and this is very rude to Spencer Howard. I don't mean it this way, but that's like saying you enjoyed the dinner when you were the dog licking the crumbs up that fell down.
Right.
Like you weren't even at the party.
Right.
Yeah, we aggressively, like, okay, you just went and ate garbage.
You came late and there were still some rolls out.
Yeah.
You grabbed one. And it was a great roll that you ran into. Nobody else was there for that.
And Keynan Middleton.
They might be into it.
I feel bad for him.
Right?
Like,
yeah, I felt bad.
I mean, he might be happy that he gets picked up. He's out of Chicago and he's on the team next year. But like, I just feel bad because like what he represents is terrible, and it's not him. It's just like the fact that he is the guy they did nothing for.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of good people around John Boy Media. One of them is Hoodie Glaber. He's just like a sweet boy, just a nice kid. And he replied to the Yankees graphic because it's Keynan Middleton and Spencer Howard, and he was just like, "LOL, this is gonna go down as an all-time graphic." And it's rude to those guys.
It's gonna be
but
used in a lot of stuff.
That's like the 2013 lineup.
Because we talked about Juan Soto again, and we talked about anything.
Did you see the report that the Yankees sent?
Ah.
Did you see the report the Yankees sent their top scout to San Diego?
Yes.
To scout Juan Soto? What a waste of that guy's time.
Here's the
Scout
scouting
all
report.
Of whatever they would.
Future
move,
Hall of
guess,
Famer, left-handed, plays mediocre defense.
Some years it's graded okay.
You could have sent me, like,
What'd they learn?
Just watch the film.
you could have.
Look at the savant numbers.
You
year over
didn't
year
know
and see
who
what's
Soto
changed.
was?
I don't know.
Did they need the scouting on Gary Sanchez?
They're hoping for Hader to sell. They didn't know him
using
either.
the number one scout to go check out sure things is a wildly awesome job for the number one scout. Like his track record has got to be unbeatable.
I mean, that.
Hey, Cash, my report. Soto, worth getting.
What's the.
Actually, they had a bad scouting report on Harper, so maybe that guy botched it a while ago.
That's the.
Did you see the quote about Harper?
I'm not the biggest eyewash.
I've seen a lot of old quotes about Harper.
That's sneaky, I think, all-time eyewash. We sent our number one scout to see Soto. Think about that. I think that's heroic levels of eyewash. Our guy was on it.
I don't know if they just said they went to San Diego, but yeah.
And they got this power-hitting catcher. Maybe we should trade for him.
Before we go to Boone, one more thing. I talked about this with Joe just around the office. Someone on Reddit, the Go ML Stick, posted an SNY article from 2019 when they passed on Harper. And one of the reasons Cashman gives for passing on Harper is unbelievable. Okay?
Okay.
Want to hear it?
Yes.
Concerns about Harper's defense and his offensive inconsistency. Okay, those are two. Third one, didn't love the sense of inevitability that had developed linking him to them. First reason is offense. Second reason is defense. Third reason is everyone just said we were going to get him, and fuck that.
Yeah.
We don't want to do what people want.
Yeah.
No way. No way that was voiced.
26-year-old Bryce Harper.
Whether that was something he thought would play well but didn't actually matter internally, or whether that mattered internally and he knew it was going to play poorly. Why would you?
Basically, that's saying
Everyone said that we should get him and that it was inevitable that we were going to get him, and we didn't want to make people right.
Why? Because you needed to be younger and more lefty? Like, that statement is we were mad at Bryce Harper's agent. Like, Bryce Harper's agent was like, well,
I just remember being
Bryce
at
Harper
winter.
should be a Yankee.
I remember being at winter meetings and like talking to my dad and doing the episode and being like, "You're not signing Harper." Like they were like, "We have Gardner." I'm like, "You have Gardner for 1 or 2 more years. Like you're not signing." Like what? Yeah. All right. Anyway, here's Boone bantering with Boone.
Brought to you by Vizio. BBD at the buzzer.
Just You mentioned in passing Keynan Middleton on the team next year. He's not. He's expiring.
Oh, yeah, my
Rental.
bad. My bad. That would have made a tiny bit of sense, but he's just a rental.
Vizio
so it
has
makes less sense.
award-winning TVs and soundbars at insane prices. You might be watching a lot of movies coming up. Really good Vizio TVs.
Night
for
times
that.
might be open.
They've got awesome TVs, 4K screens under $500. They got some good gaming TVs, too. Messed around with those on the Vizio bus. Me and Joe's. Cameras off. Vizio Watch Free Plus also offers MLB Network totally free. Find another team to watch, maybe. Head over to Vizio.com to check out how you can elevate your viewing experience all season long. Whatever your budget or size of your home, Vizio has you covered with the perfect TV soundbar combo. Click the link in the description. Get yourself a tube, man.
All right, here's Boone. Boone, how you doing? Welcome to Bantering with Boone, official title of the segment.
Oh, thank you. How are you guys?
I don't know.
We're hurt, Coach.
We're hurt.
Got to be honest with you. We're Yankee fans. We're in our feels bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're all, it's been a tough stretch and frustrating, and we're just this is the game. This is what you sign up for, and it's been a tough go, but we got to keep competing, and that's what we're in the business of doing right now, and trying to, again, broken record, but continue to try and get guys unlocked as best we can.
With the deadline coming to an end, you had you met with reporters the day before, or I think day of, and you basically said we could lose guys, we could gain guys, anything can happen. Now, there's an article out today on The Athletic where Scherzer gives insight into his conversations with Epler and Cohen, and how much clarity the GM and the owner gave him about their plans. And Cohen and Epler said, actually, 2024 is not a year where we're looking to compete anymore. We're going to reset. We're going to attack and rebuild the farm, and then free agency for 2025, 2026. Like, super awesome clarity, especially for Mets fans that now know what they're doing. In your talks with Cash and Hal, do you feel that you have a sense of clarity that clear? Because the quote was, it seemed like you didn't know if we were buying, selling, or whatever. Or if
I think everything was on the table, and I think the Mets are in a slightly different situation. When we've been going through this over the last week, we've been 2-3 games out of a playoff spot. So, and that sometimes is a tough place to be, especially when you haven't played great, but you do feel like at least there's a chance of getting better and stronger performances from guys. So, we're in that position where we don't want to pull the plug, especially as we get some more players back. Obviously, Aaron coming back, and Nestor coming back, and Loizic coming back, and being on the outskirts of a playoff spot. We certainly didn't want to pull the plug on that, but also having not played well enough recently to be in the dance as it speaks right now. So you're in that kind of gray, undefined area, unfortunately, a little bit. So that's ultimately where that came down, I think, with the front office. And, again, I think all the way up to the last minutes, there were conversations that would have been a little bit everywhere, and all things remained on the table.
Are you surprised you still don't have the left fielder that Cashman has now said he was going to go get last offseason, this trade deadline? Like, if you're in, Cashman says, obviously we're all in. If you're in even soft buying, like we saw the Padres do, the Angels kind of went all in when they're in a similar spot. There's other teams that kind of soft bought. Even the Red Sox picked up a infielder and bat. Are you surprised that you didn't get help? A lot of teams usually sit there at the deadline hoping for help, especially.
No, I think sometimes it came down to we didn't want rentals that were going to cost us a lot of things too. So we're looking to kind of probably thread that needle a little bit of, getting more controllable pieces that would help us moving forward. And then again, what's the cost? I don't know all the costs. I don't know all the, things we said no to, things that were on the table. That's more for the front office, and that we're in those intimate conversations, the 10 days kind of where everyone's hunkered down up there.
But I mean, for yourself, like, I don't know. I know we kind of just said this, but don't you have to be sitting there like hoping you add? Like, the lineup has been in a tough place. Like, it's been in a tough place that I don't know. It's just like trying to win this season. I realize there's bigger goals as an organization or everything, but you kind of got to be sitting there like, hey, we had daydreams about Juan Soto, and we've had daydreams about every player around at Major League Baseball. You got to be hoping that there's going to be if that happened, there'd probably be a presser and like, hey, I've got a new shiny toy to use like that. You got to want that, right?
Yeah. But like, all right, Juan Soto, the Padres were not sellers.
Right.
So that's, you bringing up these things. Trust me, I think all conversations were had, and you always want to improve your club when you can, certainly from my seat. But at the same time, my job is to try and help create an environment where guys have a chance to get unlocked. And the reality is we're talking about a handful of players that I still feel like are very capable, that have gone through a really tough stretch. And we've got to, and now we know it's clear moving forward. Like, this is our team, and this is we got to figure it out with these guys. And the reality is, way stranger things have happened, and as bad as it's been, and as rough as it's been here these last several weeks, we still have an opportunity. And you can go back plenty of examples in the history of the game where, the pendulum swung and things did turn around, and you go on a hot streak. Yeah, we're up against it now, and we've dug ourselves a hole. But we got to keep now with what we have and where our team is, and we know what it's going to be moving forward. That's what we got to fight for.
Yeah, that's the scariest part to me, is that you guys truly think that, this is the team, and, next year is the same thing as this year, because it's beyond poor performance. Cashman said that they asked him about
what do you mean think? That's a very passive aggressive little comment you made there. Like, what do you mean think? This is what we have.
Well, because you're not, we're
not going to roll over.
Well, I know you're not going to roll over, but I mean, the Mets did, and they're probably going to be better than the Yankees in 2 years because of that. They completely rebuilt. Like,
they're in a completely different situation, and there's a lot of complicated
five less wins. If they wanted to like really go for it, they had more to sell at the deadline. So,
a lot goes into those kind of things. So
Cashman's quote was, they asked him about the roster building, and he said, "We're here because we played poorly. We've underperformed in some cases and had some injuries." Is that your assessment as well, that this roster was set up from the beginning of the season to succeed, and it's just the players that have underperformed?
No, I think it comes down to all of us. We're, as an organization, we've, it's never put on any one person or whatever. It's, we haven't performed to the level we've expected. Yes, of course, injuries have played a giant part in that, where we've had key pieces out for extended periods of time. But that's also part of it. And you try to, I think going in, we certainly feel like, and still feel like, we have a chance. I think as rough as it's been, and as tough of a season as it's been, and as not gone according to plan as it's been, we still do have a chance. That said, sure, we went in and we're expecting, better performances across the board, starting from me on down. Like, we all share in any time, we have successes or failures or struggles. We all share in that. We're all part of that. We're all part of trying to unlock things when they're not going right.
I guess as a, you're a big sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. Look at us. What am I supposed to like, where should I be at? Because it's nice saying that, and dude, I believe in sports. I believe in baseball, but it's been tough to watch. And I know you've had a front row seat and you've admitted it, but like as a fan, and I get, and that's why like the deadline stuff, I realize that's not you. You're the manager of the ball club. Like what, as fans, where are we supposed to be at, man? Because this is literally standings wise and offensively, for a lot of our listeners, we've never seen a Yankees team like this. So what are we supposed to be thinking?
Yeah. I trust me, I get the frustration. We live it. We live it every day. And so I understand the passion that exists out there. But I know I'm tasked with trying to get the most out of us right now. And that's what I'm going to continue to fight to try and do to the best of my ability.
The Brito and Herman situation. So that wasn't a Brito showcase because maybe they're trying to trade him.
Everything that happened exactly like we said.
I don't understand the timeline of it. So like the doctor came at 2 hours before first pitch, but he said he got hurt the day before.
Yeah, he's actually, in hindsight, said he felt something Friday. Sunday, when he came in and would have his normal catch play and stuff before a start the next day, he was like at a 10 out of 10 pain. Said he couldn't do his throwing program. So training staff really worked on him kind of all evening. It was testing out really well strength-wise. The trainers felt like good about things. He was improving. He wasn't going to be able. We knew even then he wasn't going to be able to see the doctor till 5 the next day. So we weren't sure what his status was going to be for the game. So we got Brito moving, and then he wasn't able to see the doctor till the 5 o'clock hour, to which he cleared him. So we saw Domingo. We're actually in our kind of our pregame meeting as a staff. Just going through pitching and our hitting lineups and things like that. And we asked Domingo, we said, do you think you could be available? And he goes, well, let me go throw and let me get off the mound at least for a little bit. So he went out there and probably 6:15, came back in and said he would be available. So we made him available. And, because that was a day where we didn't really have length out of Ramirez or Hamilton or Abreu. So if we got in any kind of situation, it was going to be, we're going to have to roll out our guys starting pretty early. So he was available, and that's how it went. It's exactly how it went.
Yeah, it's one of the more bizarre scenarios as the trade deadline comes around and then he goes 5 innings shut after Brito gives up all the runs, and it's a game-changing situation. And
yeah,
that's insane. If that's what the book says it 10 years from now,
Jimmy's
I
a
will
little
believe
skeptical.
it.
I'm gonna say that for him. He's a little skeptical.
I don't know. That's crazy. Do you think that? Do you think the front office has any? This might be a rough question, and you can just tell me to shut the fuck up if you want. But do you think the front office has any understanding of how much the perception of them and the Yankees has changed in the last couple of years? Like it just like
so. I think we understand. Yes, I think we very are aware of the frustration, and we are. We have championship expectations, and that's what we're trying to produce. And we understand that our reach and our scope and our fan base is bigger than anything. And we understand that certainly there's that frustration. I think everyone in the organization absolutely feels that.
So I guess what changes, because I get it. It's 162 and it's the course of a season, but things aren't working. And Sunday night, Judge doesn't get the start, and it's crazy easy for us as fans to say, why isn't the guy I like playing? And he's coming off, it's a big dude with a toe injury that was out for a while, but there is a chance that games in September could not be important to this team, that it just felt like Sunday night against the team that's leading the division as we're trying to get this engine going. And like you said, in the last week leading up to the deadline, if a couple games go differently, does a trade get made that we have no idea about? I don't know, man. Like, not seeing Judge in that lineup Sunday night is almost, from a fan perspective, it feels like a white flag. Like, if it's not now, when? So I don't even, I guess there's not a question there. I guess, is there going to be more of a sense of urgency?
I'm going to protect Aaron Judge. I mean,
Okay.
like you got to be, you of all people, I would think would be a little more like just unemotional than that. Like, the guy did not play in a rehab game.
Yeah.
Did not play in a rehab game. And one of the calculuses for that was we are going to get him here so we could get some games with him in the big leagues in a rehab situation when a guy has torn ligaments in his toe. He's trying to come back, hasn't been built up even a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Be better than that.
But
don't just be.
You could.
And I understand how big of a game it is on Sunday against the Orioles. How big are these games against Tampa? How big are the weekend games on Houston? Do you think he's going to go out there and play every day right out of the chute? If you do, okay, then we have a disagreement there. He's not in that position to do that. Okay? He's in the warrior that he is. He's out there right now because of the urgency, because of the importance.
And he's such a game changer. I mean, the problem is everyone else is playing so poorly that you could DH Judge, tell him don't swing the bat once, and you have a better guy in the lineup just for his eye and the way that they're going to pitch around him, which isn't something you're actually going to do. I'm just pointing out that, like, just his presence of his silhouette in the box is going to add value to the lineup because they're not pitching to him. Are you going to continue to search for protection for him? Like, you're messing with the lineup, trying to get Rizzo going. Stan has some nice swings here and there. Glaber behind him. I mean, is that going to be the ongoing kind of search or the hot hand behind him? Because teams will just pitch around him.
Yeah, no question. Trying to get, I mean, the best, somewhat of a presence behind him. We've done it with Glaber here a couple times. Bowers has been as big a presence for us as really as anyone against right-handed pitching. Do like what he's doing. We got to get Big G going, and we have seen flashes of it, and we have seen some good swings here. But yeah, so that's going to be constantly trying to get the best person there to certainly make them pay and understand that they are going to pitch very carefully to Aaron.
And then the other question I have about urgency and stuff is Sevy. I know you talked about recently, you said you don't know if he's going to make another start or not. I don't know if there's an update there. In my opinion, if you're really trying to chase things and go after it, I don't know if Sevy can take the mound again. And if he does, you almost need a Brito or Herman, or if Nestor's back or Herman, like a long relief, like pretty ready, because his first three batters are kind of a telltale sign if he's getting hit or not, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you don't have that luxury. Look, it's obviously been a tough stretch for Sevy, tough go for Sevy. You try and find, like, the two outings before the last one were pretty good. We do feel like we're making some strides, but then you go have an inning like that where you really struggle. And obviously, he's searching and he's feeling for it and a little deflated after his last start, understandably. We've also got to go back and look at, some of the gains we're able to make in those previous two and understand that, we have a healthy guy, that the stuff is there. And for a guy that's had a track record of success when he's been healthy. So, as much as it's certainly been tough and needs to be better, you also try and, dig in and understand it's a fine line between, failure and success in this league. And even looking at that first inning against Baltimore, I mean, it's a simple fact of execution there through those first 6 hitters to Frazier got him. And it's like, if this ball's over here and you're executing this way, it's probably a completely different story. So we have to be cognizant of that when it's not so much a lack of stuff thing going on right now. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
It is something consistent, though. I mean, in the month of July, you had 3 games where he gave up 7 earned runs or more.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
One game was, the Royals, who were swinging at everything and did get 8 hits against him. So, I mean, so he might make another start in the rotation, because to me, if you're really trying to turn this around, you have pitchers that are still in the organization. Vasquez has been great. You have Nestor coming back. You have room to not let a bad Sevy start. And I love Severino as well, but the fact is, if he goes out there again and gives up, doesn't get out of the 3rd inning without giving up 5 runs, that's kind of an unserious move. Like, what we're just trying to get Sevy right, or are we trying to win games?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's that combination, and we got some things coming this weekend, and Nestor getting back. So, look, everything's on the table, but I mean, part of this is, for us to be the best we can be, you got to figure and strike that balance sometimes between trying to get guys that, for us to get there, like, this has to happen, that has to happen. And sometimes there's pain that goes with that.
Is doing media just brutal right now? Like, I mean, we're 2 buddies that, some people still think we're in his mom's basement. Like, I mean, with the New York Yankees team doing this and the New York media, like, claws are out. Like, you got to take a big gulp of air before you head into, like, anything you do, because people are coming for you.
Yeah, it's not as fun right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, it's the life of the game. I mean, it's Major League Sports. It's a lot on the line.
Do you chuckle about some of the things when you read, like, your quotes back? Like if we're being objective here, you saying besides the strikeouts, we had a lot of good at bats when there were 18 strikeouts. Like,
I even felt that. I even felt that in the moment. And
but you could laugh at, like, that sentence, right?
Yes. But I think if you watch me saying, you can see me searching for that and trying to acknowledge, like, 18 is just not good enough and not good.
Yeah.
But coming off the Saturday game and some of the things we've seen offensively, like, there were some things in the Sunday game that carried over from Saturday, which was a good offensive performance, where, like, Bowers had really good at bats. Bader had really good at bats. We had some good, long, tough at bats. 18's not good enough, right?
Yeah,
and
you take those out. I mean, besides Sevy's 3 terrible starts, he's had, 1 good one.
Yeah, look.
I'm just saying, it's funny. I hope that maybe, like, in the offseason, you can look back and laugh at that sentence.
Yeah, it's a sentence within talking about, like, that it wasn't good.
A lot of context around it, and then people just read the sentence. I understand.
Correct, and then you repeat it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
That's right.
All right. I mean, we got
done with it.
Rays 4 against. Are you excited to see Verlander again? That's a fun wrinkle to our hearts. It's the third time facing him. And to be fair, Verlander's a guy who's pitched well against the Yankees, albeit I think they have really good at bats against him. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I thought we did the first time in New York. I thought we had good ABs.
Yes, that first game. Yeah.
In at Citi Field, I thought we had the last time. I thought he was really good and kind of had his way with us. All right.
I'll pray. Yeah. Let's go, Skip.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. See you, Booney. That was Boone. The Vizio bantering with Boone hour. 20 minutes. Fun one, Jake.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little, and I don't want to do this to you, but a little Nick Walenda, just walking the tightrope. No, Jim, don't. No.
You could have mentioned any tightrope walker.
I don't. Fuck? Who else would I reference? He's
fucking way.
He's the only tightrope artist.
That's unbelievable.
You did that to
Both
him?
ways, man. I feel like everyone.
Most selfish man on earth.
I wish. I wish we could have done that off camera with a couple beers after the season and just being like.
That's what I'm starting not to know.
Yeah, fellas. Like, I know this sucks. Our lineup stinks.
I'm starting not to know how much that convo off air with beers would be different. And that's why this has been kind of not the most fun interview section in a losing season, because in a winning season, would it just have been fun but still no insight? Like, I thought we would have more real combos, and maybe he is having real combos. He's just a very big believer in this team.
I mean, there's real baseballs like Boone, like a lot of baseball people. When you start talking baseball with them, terms come out that you're like, oh, that's a cool baseball term. I wish I used that more. And I think if we wanted to, right, like we could have talked how Volpe's struggling with breaking balls and what can we do to get better on that and all that kind of jazz. But right now there's just not a place for it. And I don't know, like I'm in my head, there's going to be 100 comments that were like, you guys were perfectly tough. There will be 3 that are like, these guys are so soft. Why weren't they tougher? I don't know, man. Like if it was Brian Cashman, I might agree with those other 3. Cause like he's the guy with the answers. Cause Boone is still penciling in Anthony Rizzo and Stanton and DJ.
When I said the Mets had only 5 less losses and a lot more to sell that could actually help them win, the face he gave was very mad. It's the first time he was like, I was like, oh my God, did I just? It was anger.
Yeah, he didn't like my Judge question. And like I thought I gave it enough precursor because I get it, but also
a lot of emotions. He said he didn't expect you to be that emotional.
A life of emotions. Your Sunday game against Houston could literally not matter.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to come back with that, but things were too hot that like.
If I could game plan that question, maybe it would have been like, should he like just be DHing? Could he play?
Or like should
should
you guys not
DH
have
him?
your injury rules that you play by because they clearly don't work?
What's Jazz Chisholm been doing since he got back?
I don't know.
Is he playing every day?
Can't say I've checked his game logs.
If you guys are looking for something else to get into, our Talkin' Giants, they're hosting a watch party August 11th at the Midnight Theater in the big city. It's their preseason game against Detroit. They're selling 150 tickets. If you're a Talkin' Giants fan, they did a couple events last year. They were awesome, so they're doing a bunch this year. So, yeah, if you're kind of ready for that, we'll throw a link in
Chisholm
there.
came back and then got re-injured, it looks like.
I think he just came back
I think he's back again.
Yeah. Well, he came. Okay. Hey, maybe they got a point here. Came 1, 2, 3, 4. Came back.
Boom,
He came back. He played 5 in a row in center field, then DH, and then re-injured it, and then left for another.
Do we know it's the same injury?
I don't.
I can look into
it. Well, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Hang out with us. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a Rays recap plus sharp stats, and that was Banter and Boone.
It was an oblique. The second injury.
So,
which, hey, those have given us trouble.
Go Yanks, tell them Grams.
Go Yankees.